And in the upper left, in the blue, he is teamless. Let's see what he's going to do here. It's Hellraiser.
No. Show his other building. Show his other building.
Oh, yes, there we go. Okay, sorry.
Yeah!
In the middle of the map, in the blue, it's Hellraiser.
Let's go. And just a single screen away, we have the red Zerg player. It's the Italian stallion. He is Reynor. Representing Basilisk. Oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted, Bale. This is exactly what. Oh my god, thank you, Hellraiser, for exactly proving my point of why I was actually looking forward to this series. Hellraiser is not afraid to get down and dirty. He is not afraid to cheese. He has absolutely zero shame about doing something a little bit cheekier against the player who is favored against him, and I'm here for it. I love it. This is a full wall in, so that means that even if Reynor had scouted this out, which he has not, he would not be able to get the surface area actually appropriate to kill the gateways. So this is so annoying to deal with.
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem. It's not 4-gate, which is kind of your like archetypical Legacy of the Void proxy gateway scenario. And this is one of those times where I would give my left arm to see Reynor's player webcam at this point, because like, what do you react to this? It's like, well, I can't get out. I can't put a base somewhere else. I gotta fight the Zealots. So a spine goes down. It's in the middle of the mineral line, so the drones can try to defend it. The Zealot's already on top, so drone pull comes on in, and Reynor just gives up the position, says, yeah, attack my spine. And that's going to be a really nice little bit of drone drilling right now. Probe goes down immediately. 2 drones have died. And that's the first round. Zealot's mostly dealt with. And now, well, finds its way behind the mineral line, but Lings deal with this. So that means the spine gets up. But how do you keep that? Do you keep the natural?
No, you don't keep the natural at all. Your opponent's still all in on this. It is a little unfortunate because I think that I can't say that what Hellraiser was doing is wrong, but he was kind of doing a little bit of the over micro where he was trying to focus down the weakened drones. But it meant that one of his Zealots is just basically not attacking for most of those fights because of the way that the drone drilling was happening. So that meant that Hellraiser actually missed out on like 50% of his DPS during those trades. That's the reason why he was able to get 3 drones in the first place instead of 0 against the drone drilling. But it does mean that he kind of has a rough start, because you're right, the first spine crawler is already going to be done. A roach warren's on the way. The hatchery, of course, is going to go down. So this is where the fight really begins. But it is really tough to break through this. I think you go for the spawning pool. Yeah, go for the spawning pool.
Yeah, that's so exposed here. It's actually not in cover of the spine whatsoever. So it's going to have to be oh, wait a minute, the drone blocked the reburrow. And that's actually a bit of a problem. And now Zealots, they say, okay, we're just going to go right side. Fine, you don't have a wall there anymore. The spine is not nearly as scary as it once was. And more Lings pop out, but you're right. The roaches are the real big problem. Now, they're not in heavy numbers, not just yet. Reynor was supply blocked by losing that the hatch, but even still, 3 roaches, nearly infinite micro against this number of Zealots, especially as the Lings run forward and the Queen's on the high ground. And it seems like round 1 of Hellraiser's build has been dealt with, but Fear Dragon, there are multiple barrels here, and it's not just about the gateways.
Okay, hot take here, Bale.
Yeah.
I think I actually would have been more in favor of if he had not gone for the Nexus back. Okay, I mean, all right, I have a lot of bias in this because I'm a fan of chaos and being cheeky and doubling down on cheekiness and stuff. But I think losing 3 gateways, I actually don't know if this is something you can recover from. And I kind of would have liked even more if he had not gone for the Nexus back at home, if he had gotten up the Cybercore and either proxied the Robo or just started making stalkers from those 3 gateways. Because that is also like a viable thing you can do, especially if you still have one of the probes on the other side of the map and you can start throwing down like shield batteries and turn this into like a 3-gate proxy stalker shield battery rush, which is actually absolutely a thing.
Yeah, you know, I when I saw the Robo on the production tab, I really thought it was in the natural. This was just kind of round 2 of that rather than some sort of defensive thing. And actually, the Cyber is... Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness, it's the second Cyber core. It's the wall Cyber, not the first one. We already have Warp Gate halfway done. But is 1 Immortal and a shield battery enough to hold it off against this? Well, Reynor is droning behind this, and he is getting a natural. And it does seem like this game will go on. So Hellraiser, he's going to get a Stargate. Yeah, this Immortal on the high ground, shield battery. Seems like it's enough to hold on for now.
Ooh. Yeah. I actually think Reynor is showing a lot of respect to the fact that he doesn't know whether or not there are like additional units or something else coming out immediately. I think in reality, Reynor could have probably stuck around because the Immortal isn't going to move faster than the like Ravagers or like the little roaches and stuff there. So I think that he actually could have stuck around and continued to harass and maybe even killed the Cybernetics Core or something. But yeah, I don't hate like the safety play and stuff of just continuing to drone back up a little bit, taking out these gateways, powering up a bigger army, and then doing something. But I do think there is an opportunity for Reynor to do even more there.
I'll buy that. And now with 2 Immortals out, Warp Prism just about done. 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism. Against, we have 2 Queens. There's like very little anti-air on the map here. That is going to be a pain for Reynor to deal with. And actually with the Phoenix here as well, you can lift up 1 Queen, snipe the other with a Warp Prism. And this, I'm not trying to say that Hellraiser's in a great spot this game. I think Reynor's army, his ability to scale into this game is very, very strong. But there are opportunities now for Hellraiser to try to slow Reynor down a little bit.
No, absolutely. Warp Prism Immortals are such a powerful tool. You do have to be very careful because the Zerglings do really complicate things quite a bit because they dive in and get in on top of your Immortals extremely quickly. Also, as opposed to, say, the Roaches, there's no projectile that you can dodge with the Warp Prism picks and stuff. I am very surprised by the Oh, okay. Now I'm no longer surprised by the recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There's an attack on the other side.
Man, that is such an Artosis pylon. That's 2 shield batteries. That's actually so much stuff here. And Reynor,
there's a second pylon, I think, for the shield batteries. Just not for the gateways, though. You're right.
Yeah, and Reynor just does not want this game to go that much longer. Oracle's nice, but actually, you know what? These Immortals are doing a good job of staying alive, and Reynor tries to... I mean, he busts through, but he really doesn't get that much done. Lings into the main are going to try to get some of these probes, but they're pulled into the gas pretty well, and with the Adept warping in, Immortals as well. Reynor commits to this, and he gets 3 probes. That's kind of it.
Yeah, I really don't hate this that much for Hellraiser. I'm with you. Like, even though he's had such a weird and awkward start, it's all of this, and then if we pan like a little bit further down south of the natural expansion, he has a 3rd that he got up during all of this. The attack didn't even touch this area. So weirdly enough, Hellraiser has both tech and economy that don't look too bad in comparison to Reynor anymore.
And his response, knowing again that probably the Queen count's a little bit low, that any sort of lair play might be a little bit delayed, he's going double Stargate Phoenix.
Okay. That may be a little bit tough to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, it really does depend on how aggressive Reynor wants to be, because you flood Lings on this. That seems pretty awesome, but or pretty awesome for Reynor. But if Reynor just kind of sits back, allows the Phoenix to establish map control, then yeah, okay, might actually work out. But Reynor has certainly shown kind of a desire to get aggressive, although it did kind of bite him a little bit in that last attack.
Yeah, but 2 drop overlords definitely indicate he is looking to get aggressive. Okay, so second saving grace potential here is the Phoenix catch the drop overlords as they're making their way across the map, or the oracles or something sees it. He sees the overlords that are making their journey out, and it's unlikely with a player like Reynor that this is a mistake. He should expect a creep highway or something along the lines of just having creep spread over here, and should already have an idea about it. He's already pulled a lot of his units back over to the natural, which I think is the right call, because this is going to be the game-ending push here from Reynor. He's going to leave his Immortals on this side of the map and try and do counter damage. I don't know if I agree with that decision. I think he needs everything here.
I mean, he can technically recall, but the question is whether he's going to have the mindset to do so. As Phoenix are trying to lift the Queens and do what they can. Man, Cyber goes down immediately. And yeah, some of these Dropper Lords go down, but so too do Hellraiser's hopes, dreams, everything he thought about. And that was a fun build, but Reynor shows us why he is arguably, well, one of the best players in the world.
Really, I mean, just continuing the trend of extremely weird games here, and I'm all for it. I think there are like 3 things I would love to go back to and see in outside of the chaos of the game, like players' opinions, watching that replay and figuring things out. One, would it have made more sense initially for Hellraiser to have just like doubled down on the attack and stuff? Obviously it worked out in the sense that he won the game, but I do also feel like Reynor, the second question is, could Reynor have just done more damage there, but was maybe respecting Hellraiser's potential to have more stuff than he really did? And I think the third thing that I'm really, really curious about is Hellraiser going for the double Stargate Phoenix like follow up there. I actually really wonder if he had just been going for gateways instead of double Stargate Phoenix, even if he had been making Void Rays or more oracles or something from the double Stargate Phoenix instead. Could that actually have been a hold?
Yeah, I feel I kind of with you. I understand the desire to go like something weird. Double Stargate Phoenix, establish a lot of map control. If you can get on the map, right? Knock down a bunch of overlords, kill off all the workers, and you kind of maintain this tempo lead while you expand behind that. But this is Reynor we're talking about. Given the option between sitting at home and defending and trying to just go kill you right then, he's 99 games out of 100. He is going to choose the latter. This is not Serral or probably Serral's the most defensive Zerg I can think of. It's not someone like that. So in that situation, and I feel like this is the second time now where I've seen a Protoss player go and it's like, I've gotten double star. I'm in a good spot. Let me go double Stargate Phoenix, and just the immediate death and punish. And it's just like, well, you had some Phoenix on the map. That good for you. Unfortunately, just because a Phoenix can be born from the ashes doesn't mean this game can be.
Really scary spot there.
Yeah,
I think. I would love to just, I think the best way I can just sum it up is I'd love to hear the players kind of like explain the rationale, because I have no doubt that they have rationale for a lot of these things. And sometimes that rationale may literally just be, I don't know, I haven't had a lot of games where I went proxy 3 gateway, fully walled in my opponent, spammed out zealots, and the game transitioned. And that would be a fair answer. It's tough to know exactly what the game state is. It's a lot easier for us in our God vision mode to see everything that's happening. We know, for example, what Hellraiser has behind everything, whereas Reynor pops in with his Roaches Ravagers, sees an Immortal, and isn't 100% sure what's about to come out behind it and everything. So I totally get that. I'd love to know what the players are thinking on this.
Yeah, unrelated, but I'm a big fan. As we're sitting in the lobby, right? We're waiting for game number 2 to start. It turned from just, hey, we're already into a typing competition where, like, normally players will spam something to get ready, and it's just literally every caster in the lobby is like, I'm going to type StarCraft faster. So that's fun. But what's also fun than typing StarCraft faster? Sorry?
Always love the lobby spam.
I was going to say, yeah, what's also fun, what's fun is typing StarCraft faster is getting into game faster. So, game 2.
Oh, it's even cooler.
What's cool?
It's when someone does a high ground pylon because they're about to cannon rush.
All right, well, here we go. In the bottom left, in the blue with cannons and pylons on the mine, Hellraiser.
Let's go! Forge first! Against this guy who just deflected and defended somehow, some way, the proxy 3 gate. Will he be ready for round number 2? Photon cannon defense. It is Reynor. All right, let's get a quick sight on the Overlord vision and stuff to see where his Overlords are parked. Has he seen any of the cannons and stuff over at the Natural? He has an Overlord there, so he is actually somewhat preparing for the potential of some kind of cheeky cheese or something. This is a proper wall in the sense that I think that more than 2 drones can attack that cannon in theory, but the probe is there, so it could fully wall that in that cannon if it did get spotted. And Reynor's not really spotting this, so it's kind of irrelevant. Shouldn't have to worry about defending that cannon.
And this is an old school cannon, or I guess a middle school cannon rush pylon. This is like, it's not super old school. That's just, cannons and pylons. But this is going to turn into a robo behind this. Hellraiser he's going to slow push in. He's going to wall off the Natural, so you can't do like the one approach. Yeah, Reynor's like, let me pull. Oh, I'm not pulling drones anymore. Backing up. Round 2. Let's try this. Let's try something different. But you can't really accomplish one of the ways that you kind of deal with a cannon rush like this, which is you just cancel the Natural, drop the Natural somewhere else, because eventually this will get walled off. And there we go. Cannons run forward. You got to get one more cannon piling up, ideally for Hellraiser, before the creep totally covers this area. But for now, that's not really going to happen. So Cybercore halfway done. And again, this is all about the Immortals and the Warp Prism.
Yeah. Now, a big key part of this for Reynor is there are 2 kind of windows of opportunities here. One is after the first, I want to say 4 or 5 roaches pop out. Depending on how Hellraiser does his setup here, and this is going to depend on 1, how his cannons are positioned, 2, like how they are actually spread out, and 3, how many shield batteries versus like the shield battery to cannon ratio and stuff that he has. There is a potential for Reynor to just try and bust this very, very early on with a handful of the roaches. And I think it may actually be possible because there's only the single gateway with a single stalker and then the robo here, but the cannons are not really covering each other that much against roaches. One of these cannons will basically be fighting at the roach. If the roaches attack from the maximum distance of that forward cannon, I actually think they should be able to, even without the Ravager across the Biles, should be able to just take on a single cannon at a time here.
Yeah, so, oh, that's a bit unfortunate. One Ravager gets very low. Reynor kind of in the wrong spot for that, but even still. And the other thing here is there are only 2 pylons on the map, and one of them actually is going, there's nothing actually defending that one, so that pylon is kind of doomed to die very quickly. This one Ravager is very low, though. And as we talk about how this works, again, one of the reasons this fell out of favor was that shield batteries were nerfed pretty hard aggressively. You saw them, they warp in with 50 energy instead of 100. But on the flip side, as we saw right there we go, Gateway gets depowered briefly. Ravagers, they take a lot longer to morph now. So on specifically defensive Ravagers, it takes a little bit longer to get up the number that you need. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one totally works out. But Reynor, he's doing a good job getting Biles on the cannons. And there we go. He gets one down. It takes 7 Biles to kill him. This Immortal, oh, so very low.
Yeah, and he's almost out of shield batteries at this point, and shield battery energy. Stalkers are not really going to have too much that they're really retreating back to healing for. Another photon cannon's coming up. Another shield battery is being made. And Reynor, he has lost, I think, 1 Ravager or so. He's lost a handful of those Lings, but he's been doing a good job with his overall unit retention. And that is the key thing. Hellraiser hit his power spike with his first Immortal, but if you lose that Immortal, this game is almost, it will start feeling like it's almost unrecoverable if you lose it in the next 30 or 40 seconds. He's going for more Immortals and not actually getting up a Prism. Kind of interesting decision here. This is going to be like the big bust that Reynor's going for, and frankly, I don't think he can bust over here just yet.
I mean, that's a lot of high energy shield batteries. But I feel like what I would have preferred to see, I mean, we have, how many Ravagers is this? It's 8 Ravagers. That's enough to bust this pylon down.
He can do it now, yeah.
Yeah.
He can absolutely do it now.
So what I was going to say was I feel like I prefer just move forward with the Queens, bust the pylon down, and then you have a bunch of stuff depowered. But Reynor seems to be doing everything he needs to do. Anyways, these Immortals, there's just no saving them. The shield batteries are out of energy. One will go down. The second one, there's a little bit of energy on the shield battery there. And actually, Hellraiser micros around a little bit. The Ravagers are starting to fall. But yeah, there's just, oh no, shield battery pops up. Is this going to be enough?
Yeah, I think so, because here's the key thing. The Zerg player can trade out almost their entire army, but if they kill everything, like every cannon and every single Immortal, I actually think it's worth it for Reynor, because Reynor can replenish, and in small, like extremely small numbers, Hellraiser needs a lot more here to make those trades work, and he just doesn't have it anymore. Reynor mounts a defense there at the very end. Honestly,